I was brought up in a very spoiled, like a spoiled young little child, getting whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. There was never a no. School. My years between Hospital Hill and St. Mary's were just social. Education was the last thing. Like Joki here, I enjoyed the last numbers in school. See, your parents are there. See, you'll get through this thing. Yeah? So my first experience of life was unfair was when I got my O-level results. I thought the numerics, the higher you are, the better it is. You've passed. Not knowing that came out from the other side of life. And I thought, with my skills, I'll be able to convince, and my dad is there, I'll be able to convince Father Malone, my Catholic priest, that I need to go in for my A-levels. To me, I was just seeing A-levels, end of shorts, end of hairy legs, trousers, and you're on your way. No, that never happened. I had to repeat my O-levels. That was my first thing, my first stigma. Me repeating my O-levels, and all my buddies have gone on to A-levels. They would look in there, driving cars into school, and here I'm still being brought by mummy to come to school, and then you go for tuitions in the evening. That mollycoddling Indian school child, Indian mother holding on to the baby. And I don't know, my parents had this thing that I had to go to a Catholic school because that's the only way I would learn. Anywhere else, this boy was not going to go anywhere. They were pretty right. Up comes Form 5. Okay, I had to pass my A-levels, O-levels. I mean, like repeating anything like a parrot at home. You learn what you've done. So went on to do my A-levels at St. Mary's. My father was very happy that the Form 5, the 5th year was very good, and in the Form 6, beginning of my Form 6, he gave me a car at 5,000 kilometers. I graciously handed him that car back at 60,000 kilometers at the end of my A-levels with a big smile on my face. Here, Papa, here's your car back. We did not discuss fuel bills, nothing. But in that time, I managed to pass my A-levels, and the first time ever St. Mary's gave an award of service to the school because there were two drivers. There was Matiso and there was Ashu. We were two drivers. Anyone wanted to go anywhere, get into my car. I never had any problems. Anybody. I had a small little Datsun Sunny. I mean, there were 9 people. Even a Matatu had less capacity than my car. Anybody, even teachers when they were sick. So let's go, Ashman is there. So the thing was, that life was unfair, it became fair and nice. Went on to a lovely Catholic college in Salve Regina in Newport, Rhode Island. Graduated with honors. See, sometimes things happen for a reason. Carried on, came back, no issues after college, employment, everything. In 1993, life became unfair to me. In February of 1993, I lost my father peacefully in his sleep. 6 months later, I lost my mother on the operating table at Hammersmith. Life became jaded, unfair. But this is where things happen and people come into your lives. My neighbors became my family, and to date, they're my family. My friends, those friends of Ashu, some of those beautiful people are here today and who have supported me through and through to today. I stand in gratitude to them. Somebody at that time told me in 1993, are you mourning for your parents or are you mourning for yourselves? Who do we mourn for? Right? At the end of the day, they've gone peacefully. In fact, they were very peaceful. They had to leave us here. So after that, opened a small restaurant in Kitengela called Stony Creek, where I forgot that patronage of the restaurant includes business money receipts coming in, not that it was home. So for me, Stony Creek became an extension of my house. My partner Poonam, who was very happy, business partner Poonam, would be very happy. There's 100,000 shillings. Not knowing 98,000 shillings was signed by me. So that finished, and this restaurant was another story. I went on to employment with Bob Morgan Services in 2005, and to date I'm still there. In 2007, I started feeling, early January 2007, I started feeling very, very tired. So went out to a party, and at that party, obviously, this is Kenya. Tequila, whiskey has to go together. It cannot be separated. There's no separation of power between that and that. Yeah? As many of you know, you have to go, and until you cannot see two of Agatha's or two of Dawn's, that was not a good evening. This was 6th of January 2007. On my way back home, I started feeling a rumble in my stomach, and now I thought this is that Muhammad Ali song, Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah? No. I said, let me stop. Athi River was too far. So I stopped at the Intercont, and I was wearing a beige pair of pants. I came out of the loo, and my pants were red. So I thought it was an illusion of whiskey. Went home, just fell straight into bed, not knowing that the next morning when the staff came in, they said, "Hey, Boo, what's wrong with you? Come and look at the trail of blood." Right? So I didn't think anything of it. Went to an established hospital. I went to Nairobi Hospital to see a very... I went to see a leading physician. Told me, pants down, everything. So he said he gave me a little suppository. It's supposed to be the coolest thing in the hottest business. Go. He said, you don't have to worry. Don't come back for 2 years. You've got hemorrhoids. I'm like a perfect person like me having hemorrhoids? No. So I went home. 2 weeks later, again, in Athi River, collection of friends. These decisions only had to be made with friends and nobody else. And that friend was Nyama Choma, bottles of whiskey and wine. So we all had a discussion. So it was said that I go and see another doctor. I went to see another doctor who did a colonoscopy, and he found that I had tumours. I never forget this. Saturday, the 3rd of February 2007, he said, just come to my surgery, I'll give you the results, And he knew what the results were. I went alone. I went, and he told me, hey, I've got some bad news for you. I'm like, okay. He said, you've got colorectal cancer. I knew what colorectal cancer was because my maternal grandfather suffered from it. And I knew the consequences of having colorectal cancer. I looked at him, and he said, just go home, make a decision, and come back and tell me on Monday. Not knowing in my mind that that doctor had already planned my operation and my whole life for me. Right? Because of the value of how much money he would get from that operation. And this is what happens. This is the sad thing, what happens. So I went home. Again, collection of family and friends. Meeting. It was decided I would go to India. So I went back to tell my doctor that I'm going to India. He said, you can do whatever you want. Not knowing that he had written to the insurance company that he was going to perform the operation on me here, and he could do it very easily. Well, I know how easily it would be here. So, because it's a thing, so we said, my friends of Ashu and my family said, forget about the money, you just come to India, we'll look after everything. And to hell with the insurance. I went to see another friend's father who asked me, he said, any issues? I said, yes, uncle, I've got a problem with the insurance company. So he had some leeway into the insurance company, picked up the phone. By the time I left his office and went to my phone, I had 9 phone calls from that insurance company. And one of their... And here I am, insured till today. But my issue is that the way things were done was that I was already in a problem. Life was very unfair for me at that time because I did not know what I was going in. I knew what I was going into, and I knew the veracity of that thing. So I get to India, get to this public hospital, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute. I'd never been to a hospital before. I nearly collapsed, seeing the amount of people. And in India, it's not like here. It's buy one, get 10,000 free. They're all coming in. All of them are coming in. So I went for a colonoscopy in India. The guy told me, I said, where's the anesthesia? He said, no. So he was doing the colonoscopy, busy, and I'm lying on the bed. The pipe was wherever it was, and he was asking his wife, what have you made for lunch? Like, what the hell? Carried on. I got I remember 14th of February 2007, everyone else was celebrating with roses. I was celebrating my last day on the toilet pot because I knew that after this, my life is going to change. And my worry before that was my HIV result. I do the HIV result, my blood pressure went from 172 to 172, I don't know, somewhere up there. They had to call a cardiologist, whatever. The evening, the results come, and there's this little Indian nurse. You know, Indians have this habit. Acha, acha. What are your results? I'm like, she said, non-reactive. I'm like, what the hell is non-reactive? So that went through. 15th of February, I got operated. A 7-hour operation, which actually changed my life. It changed my life completely. I have met some of the most brilliant doctors who I am with till today. My first doctor, I went and asked him, how are you? In India, you never ask the doctor how he's doing because he has to ask you how you are doing, right? And in India, you never go alone. You go with Pakka the maid and the gardeners with you also, and the security guard. I was alone in everything because my family was there, but it would be evenings by the time I'd see the doctor. My first doctor told me, he said, you are a good patient, I'll be a good doctor. If we don't meet on that medium, we'll never go anywhere. Went through my operation, it changed everything. I got a colostomy put on, meaning that they removed the rectum. I had a 5-centimeter tumor on my rectum, they removed that. I went through 8 months of chemotherapy after that, intense chemotherapy and radiation. 2007, I did that. 2008, no issues, nothing. 2009, went back. I used to go back to India every 3 months, and I still do every 3 months for a checkup. Went for this checkup, sitting there with my doctor laughing away at another hospital now. So he said, when are you going back? I said, as soon as you give me this result, I need to go back home. It turned out that the cancer had spread. So it spread into my left lung. First, so in 2009, they removed a part of the left lung. I went through intense chemotherapy between 2009 to 2010, thinking that the chemotherapy would now suppress the tumors. Up came 2 more tumors. You know, this is like a discount store. It keeps on coming up and up and up. It doesn't stop. You know, it's like Safaricom to Weza, or whatever you're selling here. So they removed the left lung. Then I went through intense chemotherapy, which was 8 hours a day and 16 tablets for 14 days a week. I did it for 120 weeks. Huh? So is life fair? It's very fair because I'm standing here in front of you guys. In 2011, after doing radiation, they decided now to operate. So they operated and they removed part of my upper right lung. When they did the PET scan at that time, another tumor, you see, he didn't want to be lonely, he wanted another friend. So the guy said, why only not the left, why not the right? So the tumor came up onto the right-hand side. I went to to deal with this, apart from having lovely doctors, I went and did healing. My healer taught me that to fight anything, use your mind. Your mind is your most powerful tool. That doctor will do 20%. They're also humans. 80% comes from within yourself. I fought. They removed part of the right lung. I still go to the gym every morning. I still swim. Even when I swim, I still move my hair back up. I went to hospitals where the doctors said, don't ask me what diet. Do not ask me where's your common sense. Go out there, enjoy your life, never stop living. From that day onwards, I stand here, 5 tumors later, 120 weeks of chemotherapy, 35 days of intense radiation, and not saying life is unfair because it always is fair. Give gratitude. Like Akacho said, never forget to tell somebody you love them. Give gratitude. Give your blessings. God lies within each of us. You have your strength. Use it. It comes from within you. It would not come from your family. It would not come there. Your family and your friends can only do so much. That's your periphery support. It all comes from you, from your mind. Life is fair. Yeah.